皆さん、こんにちは and welcome back. お帰りなさい to Unit 84. In this lesson, we're going to be learning, first of all, in topic 1, the two types of subject particles, wa and ga. So you would already know probably the one of the subject particles wa. この本は面白いです. This book is interesting. That should be familiar to probably many of you. But there's actually another subject particle が、この本が面白いです. If you translate into the English, they will both be, this book is interesting. But obviously, they're not the same sentences. Look at the other sentence too. 私は医者です. I'm a doctor. Sounds okay. 私が医者です. Again, the particles are different, but in English, they would be the same sentence, but obviously they have different meanings. So we're going to be learning to use these two different subject particles and how they are distinguished and what they mean. Okay, so one difference between wa and ga is which information is more important. So when you use the wa, x or y, that will be the information after wa is more important. So for example, imagine that somebody asks you, are you a lawyer? 弁護士ですか?弁護士ですか? Then you would answer, いえ、私は医者です. 私は医者です. Think about 私 and 医者, so those two pieces of information after and before wa. If you compare, 医者 is more important because I am a doctor, not a lawyer. So you're emphasizing 医者, the doctor part. So your place of emphasis is on the Y part. So the second information, 医者. This is when you use the wa. But when you use the ga, 私が医者です, your emphasis is on 私, not 医者. So when you use this, is probably like, for example, when somebody asks you, is your father a doctor? お父さんは医者ですか?お父さんは医者ですか? Then you will say, no, it's not my father. I am doctor. 私が医者です. So like I, as in I emphasized, I am the doctor. I am the doctor. 私が医者です. Not my father, not my friend, anybody else, but I am the doctor. 私が医者です. So you're emphasizing 私. So the information before が. So this place of emphasis is one major difference between what the wa and ga. Secondly, sometimes wa and ga difference depends on new or old information. Basically, wa is used for old information. For example, let's say you're talking about a book that you bought yesterday. 昨日本を買いました. この本は面白いです. In this situation, you would not use が、この本は面白いです. You would use は. Because この本, the book you're talking about, is old information. You have already talked about it. 本を買いました. It's already been mentioned earlier in the topic. So it's an old information. この本は面白いです. But if that book has never been mentioned in the context and you are introducing this book as a new topic, then you would use が. So it's a new information. Hey, this book is interesting. この本が面白いですよ. 読んでください. This book is interesting. Please have a read. この本が面白いです. In this situation, この本 has never been mentioned earlier. It's like a new topic. So you use が. Finally, this is simpler. In the WH question, so like questions that you can't answer with yes or no, like what, how, where, when, who, these kind of questions, we always use が. So there is no exception here. どの本が面白いですか? Which book is interesting? We never say どの本は面白いですか? So in the WH question, it's always が. So these three main points of difference is going to be important when distinguishing wa and ga. Second topic, we're going to learn a whole new, whole different sentence pattern called くなる and になる. This is a sentence pattern particularly for describing a change. Something becomes something. Someone becomes something. Describing a change, for example, 日本語の勉強、studying Japanese が楽しくなりました。楽しくなりました。So not just 楽しいです。It's 楽しくなりました。So it has become fun. So it was not fun before, but it has become fun. ピアノが上手になりました。No, instead of ピアノが上手です。上手になりました。I was not good at piano before, but I am good at it now. I have become better at playing the piano. 会社員になりました。Became an office worker. Maybe Mei-san was something else before, was a student or was a lawyer or teacher or anything, and then became an office worker. So let's learn to use the e adjectives and na adjectives to use to describe a change. To do this, for e adjectives, we remove the e into kunaru. Osoi turns to osokunaru. Osokunaru. Something becomes slow or late. Osoi, osokunaru. For na adjectives, we remove the na and add ninaru. So remember, it's not kunaru, it's ninaru for na adjectives. 幸せな. This means happy. 幸せになる. 幸せになる becomes happy, become happier. For nouns, we add ninaru after it. So yuki turns to yuki ni naru. Yuki ni naru becomes snow. Become snow sounds a little weird in English, but in Japanese, yuki ni naru means will start snowing. It was sunny or it was rainy before, but now it's snowy. The weather has changed into snow. Yuki ni naru. So learn to use kunaru, ninaru, learn those rules to describe change from something to something else.